Great Waters go for a kick. It's short, only goes about 2 meters. So that's going to go back in favor of Lone Star with Gisick ready for the quick tap there in center pitch.
Wonky start for Great Waters, error off the restart. So first attacking here, Lone Star.
Deep switch goes to Anderson, who then gives it to Atafe, and they get it into Lockerman very quickly. He's patient with the offload, and they get a little congested there as the Lone Stars are going to have to widen the pitch out a little bit. Gisick, though, turns on the Jets, and she gets tackled right outside of the 50. Nice little offload. It just pins him further back here. Big contest at the ruck. And the attack looking a little bit flat here. Anderson, who is the second receiver, has to go ahead and take it in. Keeps the feet going, though. And they've got Lockerman if they can open up some space for her. She rounds the corner. Has to step back inside, and she's well met by the defense coming in from Rid.
Well marshaled from Great Waters. Henich wearing number 27. Integral part of this Great Waters side. But Lone Star need to get Lockerman the ball earlier on. They're too static in the middle of the pitch. Henich with that throw in, not straight, hitting the outside shoulder of Jarabek. So that's the choice for Lone Star, and it looks like a free kick at the 15.
Looks like there was some shop talk there between the center referee and the AR. So a short arm penalty goes in favor of Lone Star. Moves it into the hand of Anderson. Works it through to Uatafe. Uatafe does a nice little pin and pass, but the pass is low, and it just knocks off of the fingers. Lockerman didn't hear the whistle, though. Gets taken back, and it's going to be a scrum with Great Waters. That's 2 mishandlings for the Lone Star State. We saw that earlier today whenever they played as well.
Potentially getting ahead of themselves in the middle of the pitch, doing a little too much. They had the 3v2 already created. The overlap was there, holding on to that ball just a little too long, and then you're releasing it and your hands fall down, the ball falls down, making it difficult to hold on to.
Scrum goes. It's a little bit chaotic there in the middle, and it opened up space for Henich, who then moves it to the number 12. Uatafe comes across, and Jarabek gets taken into ground. Just contest at ruck time. They've got numbers to work it out to the left. Using the one receiver, though, the number 13 takes it right into the guts. Jarabek moves it to Rid. Rid's got space to burn as she moves it to Tursinovic, but Uatafe puts on a hit and a half. Anderson has to come around, and then there's space on the outside there. It looks like they're going to go ahead and make it into the corner. That's George for Great Waters, the University of Wisconsin sophomore.
Olivia George. It was scramble D. It was chaos. It was hectic. But look at that offload from Egbutu. In contact, just loops it over the top. Not the best pass, but Olivia George cleans it up and gets 5 points. Opens this one up.
Conversion is going to be no good for Great Waters, so that's going to bring us 5-0. The team in the dark blue on top.
Great Waters making use out of that knock-on we saw from Lone Star earlier on. They had the scrum, and they worked their way down the pitch. It wasn't the cleanest rugby, but they made it happen.
Ball goes up, and it hits center pitch, hits the ground a couple of times, and then finds its way into the hand. It comes off of the boot of Gisick. And a referee says that it was a mishandling there, so that's going to give a scrum that's going to go for Great Waters. And the bounce of the ball does not seem to be in favor of the Lone Star.
That initial knock came off the boot, but then as she tries to regather it on the deck, slips forward. So Great Waters here will have the put in the feet of the scrum as they make a substitution. Egbutu taking an early leave off the pitch.
Great Waters coached by Rachel Grecki and Derek Wagner. An early substitution there. Comes off of the back of the scrum and finds its way into the hands of Chamberlain. Uatafe comes across, though, makes a big hit. And the support looks quick as Rid gets up. Uatafe, though, putting in some shoulders there. Anderson comes, and she's got to go ahead and corral. Those are 2 defensive players you don't want to run into. But Great Waters now knocking on the door. They're about 5 meters out as they look to move it wide. They've got an overload if they can use it, and takes off one tackler. The number 13 makes it under the sticks, and it looks like that's Jarabek who's going to go ahead and hit it in the center. And that try is going to be good for Great Waters.
Great Waters just putting a commanding start into this first half, taking it up 10 points to 0. It all started from that scrum, again, off the back of an error from Lone Star. And that results in another 5 points, this time 7 points for Great Waters, converting the try. So have a look at the scrum, Great Waters. Look at the center at the top of the screen for Lone Star. She comes up. She doesn't even acknowledge the woman with the ball. It creates a huge gap for Great Waters to come through. And then they do well. They maintain possession. They're patient, and they have the strength to get over the white line.
Ball goes up and right into the hands of Uatafe. Uatafe gives a shoulder check right there at the 40 and somehow gets an offload to Anderson. Anderson still not wanting to go down. Anderson with some friends. Uatafe clears. And then now Lone Star have the numbers to move it out to the left. Lockerman is there waiting, but Gisick gets the ball to hit the deck. Lockerman finally finds it in the hands, and it's a foot race now between her and the number 6. Doing good to maintain it is Dam. A cutback inside, though, on the number 15, Rid and Lockerman. Abby, you talked about her earlier. Lockerman is the hope for this Lone Star side.
Leah Lockerman, she had a lot of work to do just then. Her team giving her the ball a little late. She had to use the fend. She had to use some footwork. And, of course, that speed and stride that we've come to learn and love this weekend already here in Atlanta. It's a poster. It's right off that left post, and it's through, giving the full 7. So, again, doing a lot in the middle. Look at her. She almost runs directly to the sideline. I'd love to see her swap the ball there, use her opposite fend, but the footwork is flashy, and it is effective. She gets another try.
We still have a whole second half coming at you right now. Great Waters on top, 12-7. Welcome back, team. We are here with the second half about to get underway. The Lone Stars are down 7-12 with Great Waters on top here in Atlanta at Silverbacks Park. Abby, we talked about how Lone Star can do a really good job of coming up from the back end.
Lone Star got that lone try from Lockerman, but they may have just snagged the momentum from this match. It's so crucial getting those points just before halftime, sort of putting a little dagger into the hearts of Great Waters, but plenty of rugby, plenty of action to be played in the next 7 minutes.
Yeah, it's wild, the action that can take place in about a 7-minute period. Looks like the Lone Stars are going to be the ones to kick off here, as they elect to try and go short. Ball goes a little bit too short there, and Rankin forces the Lone Stars to have to go on defense as Great Waters get a center tap.
Always frustrating when those kickoffs don't go 10. It's almost better to kick them deep, pin your opposition, make them go 80 meters for a try versus giving them halfway there already.
A beautiful pin and pass, though, from Great Waters. Gets it into the hands of the number 12, Benke, but she gets annihilated there at the sideline by, looks like that was the number 1 for the Lone Stars, Goodwin.
It's a simple set-piece move. Ball goes through the hands, but she doesn't use any footwork, couldn't get the fend out, and it's great cover tackle coming across there from Goodwin.
Line out is good as it goes to Uatafe and then to Lockerman, and then they get it out to a speedster here. She's over the 50. There's a chase coming across, though, from the number 6 for Great Waters. A cut back inside. Abby, I think she heard you about the footwork. We'll get the number for you here. The number 6, that looks like Kirkley. Kirkley is going to hit center pitch, and with the conversion to come, you got to wonder if Lone Star going to end up on top.
Kirkley Well done, Lockerman with the release, the ball over the top. And from her own 22, have a look. She takes the defender all the way to the sideline. She knows she's committed, but she's still 3 to 4 meters away from her. Banks off the left foot, and then she coasts under those uprights. What a beauty.
It looks like that conversion was too low, so Gisick does not convert it. We still got our score here, 12 to 12. Abby, if there's one thing that we know in sevens, conversions matter.
Those 2 points are so critical, especially as we tend to run out of time in this version of the sport.
And that kick does go 10. Rankin is able to get it into the hands of Great Waters. A big hit coming in from Kirkley. The impact sub is able to get it into the hands of Uatafe, and a nice clear out. Kirkley is losing her mind a little bit too much there, and a not releasing penalty goes in favor of Great Waters. Electing for the quick tap now. Great Waters is off to the races. There's a little bit of a disconnect here, and she exploits the gap in an offload with a low spot tackle coming in from Uatafe. They've got an overload to the left if they can use it. They've got room to burn here, as she elects to just go ahead and take it in. The offload looks good, and Goodwin is coming across, but it looks like Great Waters, the number 10, Maxino has to cut back in, and then she dots it over Goodwin. We'll see if the referee was happy with that release. Looks like that's going to be a try for the Great Waters. They answer back quickly.
Goodwin came across, having a little dance and celebration, getting those 5 points ahead here. The center attracts 2 defenders in. You see her, but with the bump, she knocks off Goodwin. Samantha Maxino, and then has the awareness to pop up to her feet, scoop up the ball, put it down in the try zone.
So Jarabek's conversion is short. Our score is still at 17 to 12. We've got a little over 3 minutes left to play in this second half for the All-Star pool play. We see even a referee knows about the Soldier Boy. I mean, in this day and age, who doesn't?
She might be dating herself with these kids hitting that dance move, but we'll let it slide because I'm probably in the same age bracket.
I'm just really glad that they don't have cameras up here. We would really show our age, I feel like, if we were to
bring
get
them on. Love a camera. But let's go back to the footy for now as Great Waters kick it off.
Their kick is successful. It does go 10, and so Lone Star already crossing the 40. They're going to have to get really aggressive here. Uatafe has to go in and dig it out. Referee says that it was a penalty against Great Waters. So now they're going to slow it down and wait for the support. Gisick gives a tap, moves it into the hands of Lockerman, who's there waiting pretty flat-footed, and tries to move it into the hands of Kirkley. She does, and this defense looks a lot more promising from Dam. Dam gives a good hit, and they're pinned over on the left-hand side. They've got room to burn on the right as they get it into the hands of Goodwin. Goodwin does a little shimmy step, and Goodwin now has got the pace to burn. The number 1, can she do it? Looks like nobody's going to catch her here, and we have got a tie ball game. A conversion can change this momentum and could finally see the Lone Star on top.
Goodwin, too good for the Great Waters defense. It's simple, it's through the hands, it's a little slow and methodical, but then the in and the out, that acceleration, the knee drive. She is under the sticks, and the conversion is through the sticks. We have ourselves a true ball game here with Lone Star just taking the lead, taking that edge, 19 points to 17.
Lone Stars now on top, 19 to 17. Coached by Rebecca Karanko, Sarah Dickerson, and Kristen Karsten. These last minute or so is going to mean the most. Great Waters are able to field it, and there's a contest at the ruck. Ball bobbles out, and they've got the numbers to burn if they can move it and execute this. Rids got it into the hands of the previous try scorer. She looks for a possible loop, and it just gets flung into the sideline. Looks like that was a miscommunication there between the two.
Miscommunication on the edge for Great Waters could very well be the detriment to this side. You see she starts to come around, but then ends up going back to that inline to support her. So Lone Star with the ball, only 24 seconds to seal a victory.
Lone Star with a good line out. Uatafe gives a long pass, skips Lockerman and gets it into the hands of Kirkley. Kirkley, can she do it over the 22? She goes, and Kirkley is going to get it over the line, and I think that's what's going to seal the deal for the Lone Star side over Great Waters.
Uatafe with the miss pass. The bounce of the ball is kind. Kirkley is able to hold on to that ball on the left side, just skirts the edge of the Great Waters defense, gets herself a double, gets her team a double victory on the day.
Looks like that conversion was no good, so that's going to bring our score 24-17. Lone Stars end up on top. We still have a lot more All-Stars coming at ya, as it looks like that game is going to go ahead and be called. It's going to go in favor of the Lone Stars. Coming up next, we've got Florida versus the Midwest. Stay with us, team.